All right, so quiz number 3 review, that's what we're going to go into right now. Remember, last week I put quiz number 1, but it was actually quiz number 2, right? But quiz number 3 review is what we're at because this is week number 3, okay? So, all right, so the very first problem that we're going to be doing is going to be from section 5.5, okay, given y varies inversely with x. If y is 15 when x is 12, find y when x equals to 32. Okay, so this is an inverse variation problem. Now remember, these didn't take very long to do, but you got to have the right formula to start with. So starting off with this type of problem, we're going to use the formula for inverse variation, which is xy equal to k. And remember, we're going to want to write that down 2 times, okay? The first time you do it is because you're going to use that first equation to find your k value, what they call the constant of proportionality. And the second time you do it is to find your, well, whatever value they want. They said find y, so we'll be finding y when x is 32. So let's do the first part. So the very first part of the problem we're done with, that says inversely, so I wrote them out. The next part says if y is 15 when x equals 12. So if y is 15 when x equals to 12, okay, so I'm going to multiply this stuff together. This is going to be, is it 180? Yeah, 180. That's equal to k. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this k value over to the next equation. And then I'm going to read the last part of that statement. Find y when x is 32. So this is 32y. So in order to solve for y, I'm going to have to divide both sides by 32, which is going to result in a decimal. So let me divide by 32 on both sides. And we get that y is equal to 5.625. And that's it. That's my first problem right there. So like I said, I don't think these are hard. You just got to know what is the formula I'm using. You got to make sure you plug in the numbers in the right place. If you have to use a calculator, use it to make sure you get the right answers. But I really don't think these problems are challenging. Now, unfortunately, the whole test is not just this. Some people really wish it could just be all of this stuff and they'll be fine. But there's only 2 of these on the quiz, okay? So one is inverse, the other one is direct. So let me give you guys a minute to write this down. I'm going to pause the video. All right, so you guys should have gotten this down by now. So number 2, given y varies directly with x, if y is 3 when x is 6, find y if x is 12. Now this says varies directly, so that means that you're going to have to use a direct variation formula. So that's y over x equal to k. Remember, if you don't know these, make sure you memorize them. They're not hard. It's 3 letters. It's either y over x equals k or xy equals k. All right? Now, once we did that, we go to the middle of this statement. It says if y equals 3 when x equals 6. So y is 3 when x is 6. That means that k is half. Now, if you want to write half or 0.5, either one is fine. Okay? Whatever you prefer. If you want, I'll go all the way to 0.5 if you happen to do it on your calculator. Then I'm just going to plug it in. So 0.5. So y over x has to get filled in. The last part of this statement says find y if x is 12. So find y if x is 12. Now in order to solve for y, I'm going to have to multiply, right? Multiply this over here. So y is 6. There's your answer. Again, if you wanted to write k equal to half, that's fine. You just would have been on your calculator 12 times half, right? Or 12 times 0.5, whatever you want. So this is section 5.5. That's the one you guys did yesterday for your quizzes assignment. Again, that is due tomorrow by 3:30. Okay, not 3:33. I can't program 3:33. So it's either 3:30 or 3:45, but I wanted to be done by the time school ends. So 3:30 is as close as I can get. All right, bless you. Number 3. We're going to section 5.4 now. Okay, 5.4. has to do with addition and subtraction of these rational expressions. Now, I'm not doing any problem that's like insanely difficult because we're not going to really have a lot of time. So I'm trying to do something that requires us to simplify, but not like insanely do a lot of work. You may see some trinomials on your quiz tomorrow, which means when you factor, you're going to have to use the X method, okay? But not necessarily, I don't think, too tough. I think there's one problem that's kind of tough, and I think that's one I'm going to get rid of for you guys, because I don't need you guys like stressing for like 5 minutes over one problem, all right? If you can prove to me you understand how to do something, that's the most important thing to me. I don't need you to do the hardest problem in the world and get it right, and then, oh, now they know, and if you get it wrong, oh, these kids have no idea. Like, no, maybe the problem is just too difficult. That's okay. So for me, it's always about, do you understand, not can I trick you, right? So here we go. For this, we're going to add. You notice the denominators are the same, which they should be. They shouldn't be any different. They should always be the same terms, because that allows us just to add straight out. So I'm going to add this thing up, 5n plus 3n over 4n squared plus 2n. I know I'm taking some extra steps, but again, usually I do this because of notes in case somebody wasn't here. Now 5n plus 3n, that's 8n, over 4n squared plus 2n. Now this is a good answer, but it's not the right answer, because you always got to ask yourself, am I finished in terms of simplifying, right? Like, have I taken everything out that I can? On top, there's not much I can do. It's just 8n. But on the bottom, what do they have in common? 2n. A 2n, right? So we got 8n over, let me move this up here, 2n times, well, if I take out a 2n, the bottom is going to become a 2n plus 1 as a factor. All right, now look at my number on top and on bottom, 8 over 2, right? The 2 right here, this is the one whoops, I moved it out of the way. Yeah, that 2 is going to be reduced. I can get rid of the n as well, like you said, right? So let me do that really quick. 2 goes into 8 4 times and into 2 once. And then n can cancel with this n here. It cannot cancel with this n right there. You see the one I got inside the 2n plus 1? That n on the 2n plus 1 can only be canceled if you have another 2n plus 1 on top. It has to match. If it doesn't match, don't touch it, okay? But this one can be canceled, because multiplication you can cancel out. Addition, subtraction, it has to go together. So once I do that, my final answer for this problem is going to be 4 on top and a 2n plus 1 on the bottom. And that's my solution. You'll notice for number 4, I already kind of pre-wrote something for you here. Because as some people were doing homework in different classes, they'd ask me, like, I got this wrong, I could have swore I did it right, and I check, and it was always the subtraction problems, right? Don't forget to distribute. If there's a minus inside of the inside the two fractions in between them, make sure you distribute that negative, because if you don't, you're going to get a miscalculation. And you may not even know that you did it wrong unless you kind of have seen, like, oh, the answer's supposed to be this. But yeah, make sure you guys distribute it properly. So x minus 5 over 3x plus 4 minus 3x minus 5 over 3x plus 4. Again, you'll notice the denominators are the same, so I don't have to worry about like simplifying anything out, like they're just there. But the top parts I can join together. So let me go ahead and do that. So on top, x minus 5 minus 3x plus 5. And on the bottom, it's just 3x plus 4. Now notice, I'm going to put a parenthesis around it. You don't have to. I do it because, remember, I asked myself, 3x plus 4, can I factor that anymore? So in my head, I go through it really fast. Do they have anything in common? 3x plus 4? No. 4 terms? No. 3 terms? No. 2 terms? Yes. Difference of 2 squares? No. So it's done. Okay? I just go through that in my head really quick. So I know it's factored, so I'm just going to leave it in a parenthesis so that I know I should not be canceling anything from that unless I got a matching piece on top. Okay? Now, Simplifying the top part, x minus 3x, that's negative 2x. Okay, and negative 5 plus 5 is 0 over this. So at this point, I'm done. Okay, you should not be trying to cancel this 2 with that 4. That's not good. Again, that 4 is stuck to the 3x with the addition, so don't mess with it. Okay, do not cancel this x with that x, because that's stuck together, right? And the reason why I'm repeating is because a lot of people do it on the homework. A lot of people do it on the tests that we did last time. Okay, in the last quiz, people were crossing out things they shouldn't have been messing with. So make sure that you guys know that you can only cross out those x's if they're multiplying, right? Like we had in the previous problem. There was like a 2x times something else. That's multiplication. You can cross those out. But if it's being put in with an addition or a subtraction, don't mess with it. Just leave it alone. Okay? So that's number 4. So we've done 2 problems on variation, right? Direct and inverse. We've done 2 problems on addition and subtraction. Now let's do 2 problems on division of these rational expressions. Now remember, division of rational expressions is basically what you guys did in section 5.2, which was multiplication of rational expressions. It just takes a step for you to rewrite it, that's all, okay? But in most cases, it's just multiplication, but we got to rewrite it into that. So let me go ahead and do that here. So we have n minus 4 over 7n squared minus 28n times n minus 2 over 3n. Now notice, I'm going to do something really quick. The n minus 4 and the n minus 2, I'm going to put parentheses around them because I just went through it in my head and I said they don't have anything in common. It's not 4 terms, not 3 terms. It is 2 terms, but it's not a difference of 2 squares, even though it is a difference, but I don't see a square term on my ends. So these are factored as much as possible, okay? So just went through the main little list, right? Okay, I can factor the bottom left corner of that fraction set, okay? The 7n squared minus 28n. What can I take out? 7n, so that would be n minus 4 times n minus 2 over, and the 3n, I can't do much to that. So what can I get rid of? All right, get rid of that. So let me just rewrite this really quick. 1 over 7n times n minus 2 over 3n. Okay. Can I do this cancellation there? No. What about this one? Why not? Only diagonal and vertical, not side to side. Okay? So good. So you should not be doing that either. So basically I'm done. I can't cancel anything out. So let's just rewrite this. This will be, I'll write it over here, n minus 2 over 21n squared. And then here's number 6. So I'll give you a minute to write that down really quick. All right, so back from that pause. I'm going to rewrite this, okay? This is the best way to probably do this, is just to rewrite it. So w minus 11 over 30w squared divided by w minus 11 over 5w to the 4th. Now remember, division of fractions we shouldn't do. We should multiply by reciprocals. So I get a w minus 11 over 30w squared times 5w to the 4th over w minus 11. So I can definitely cancel w minus 11, right? That's good for me to get rid of. And I'm going to take a couple steps. I'm not going to try to, hack this up and leave chicken scratch all over the place. Like, just take our time here. So this is 1 over 30w squared times 5w to the 4th over 1. What else can I reduce? The W squares and the 30s and the 5s, right? So I heard two different things. Let's do them um, really quick here. So let's start off with the numbers. 5 goes into itself once and into 36 times, right? And then the W's, well, I have 4 W's on top. I have 2 W's on the bottom. So if I cancel, these two will go away. And this one will have, I don't know what the news said, but we'll find out later. There'll be 2 left there. Okay? So let me rewrite this. I mean, unless you just want to go straight out, but this is 1/6, and this is times W squared over 1. That's what's left after all that stuff got like chopped up. So this is W squared over 6. So that's our review, guys.